Hi everyone, it's Carrie with My Friends Call Me Martha, and yes, I got that nickname after Martha Stewart because I love to be in my craft room and I'm also fairly good in the kitchen. So my friends used to joke that I was Martha Stewart, so hence the name for my crafting business came about. So I'm here today using the Decorated with Happiness bundle, and I'm actually going to show you a couple different things that you can use to make with it. I was inspired again by a colleague on my Stampin' team, Chris Vicente, shout out to her. I received this card in the mail, so I use this for my inspiration to create a card for you today. So the first project we're going to do is using that, and we're going to make a card like this. So I just switched it up a little bit, kind of simplified it, and I will show you what products I used. So we'll leave that here for our little guide. So the first thing I used was a tailor-made tag to cut out a white tag. Then I have my card base, which is soft succulent, and that measures 11 by 4 1/4, and I scored it at 5 1/2. Yes, I do score all of my cardstock. I just find it makes it a lot easier. Oh, look at my little bows from another project. Got stuck because I left a glue dot on it. So actually we use that for the front. And then I cut a piece of designer series paper, and I'm forgetting the measurement. So this measures 3 by 4 my goodness, I can't read. 4 3/4. All right, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere this. This is actually from the Lovely in Linen designer series paper. I apologize, my family is being loud because they know that I'm on a video, so they immediately start making noise. And I'm just going to kind of center this. Okay. And then, like I said, I already die cut this, so this is one of the largest of the tailor-made tags. You can see here, there's ones that are more just a simple flat edge, whereas these ones here have like more of a decorative curve to them. All right, and we're gonna do our stamping. So from the stamp set, I am gonna use this sprig, and I'm gonna use Evening Evergreen, but I'm actually gonna stamp off, which stamp off means that you just stamp onto scrap paper first, just so I get a like less, I want it to be like more of a muted color. I'm just kind of putting it at the top there. And then I'm also going to stamp our sentiment while we're here. And I'm using Christmas Greetings. Sorry, I think I'm like out of the camera frame. And now I'm going to close up my Evening Evergreen. I do this because there are so many times that I have like stamped into my finished product. I've dropped it in the ink pad rather. All right, and then next I'm using this image of an ornament, and I'm using Sweet Sorbet. I'm just gonna put that in the middle, and then you could leave it as is, but it also comes with this little squiggly, which is kind of like, makes it look like a watercolored image. And again, I'm gonna stamp off once so that it's more muted. And there we are. And then I'm just gonna adhere this to our card. And to finish the card, I'm going to use the Baker's Twine. So the Baker's Twine comes in all of the new in colored colors. So there's 5 of them. Actually, I can show you. So these colors at first I really didn't like because I thought they were pretty bright, but I do love this Sweet Sorbet for Christmas. The other ones are more of kind of like my summery colors. And then so the package of Baker Twine, it comes with 5 little rolls in each of the designer series colors. All right, so what I did for my bow is I took a double strand So I just tied a bow using 2 pieces at the same time, just to make it a little bit thicker. So I think this is a great card to use for a Christmas card design, especially if you were going to be making, you know, a ton of them. These ones I feel like they're nice and quick and easy. Oh my goodness, my scissors are not working for me. And then I need a small glue dot. And there we have it. So that is project number 1. Okay, and I am gonna just clean my stamps real quick just to make sure I don't ink anything in the wrong color. And then I'll show you this other cute project. So this I used the glimmer paper to cut out the ornaments. There's a die set that coordinates with this stamp set, and it makes these dies. And then I cut out 2 circles, and I made the Christmas greetings and then the ornament on the other. And these are on York peppermint patties. And again, I got this idea from Chris. She included this for the retreat that I did with her, and I thought, she said these are great for craft fairs, so that is what I am doing. I'm trying to get ready with some different stuff than what I normally do. I don't know, I'm finding that craft fairs, people will buy some cards, but I'm thinking that they will like more of like the little notepads and different little stocking stuffers. So look how cute that is. So again, this would be great to, you know, give to maybe your coworkers if you're in a larger office. And you could probably do this with like the Ghirardelli chocolate squares. And then the bags I just got from clearbags.com. So a shout out to them for having all kinds of bags in every possible color. And then you could definitely do your circle in white and then use the glimmer paper in red to cut out your ornaments. And I believe this pack of paper is, I think it's only like $5 or $6. Actually, I can look it up. It's part of the Christmas catalog. Yeah, it's $5, and it's 6 by 6, and you get some red and some white. I believe it's 2 pages of each. So that is another great idea for this stamp set. All right, just got to clean up a little bit so that I can move on to the next card. All right. So the next project, I was inspired by Barb Stamps on YouTube. She used this card and kind of, she did it in the petal pink, I believe, just kind of like non-traditional Christmas colors. So I did it in a non-traditional Christmas color. I used Coastal Campana, but I am actually going to now try to make this in a more Christmas colors with reds and greens. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is get our little sprig ready. So I'm using the dry brush stamp set, which is a great background. And this one you can use in your Stamparatus, or I'm just leaving it in the case to kind of make it easier on myself. I don't know if this is going to be too dark, so this is going to be an experiment. And then you just lay your piece of cardstock and just rub it in. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're just going to be cutting out the sprig. Try not to get too inky. Yeah, I think that's actually pretty good. And then while I'm here, I am going to clean it so that I can put it away. So I'm using my chamois, which you just keep with a little water, and I keep mine slightly open just so it doesn't like get a mildewy smell because I'm just using like tap water. So I just leave it on my shelf kind of like this, open. So it does dry out, and then you just put it in the sink to rehydrate it. Okay, so now I'm gonna go over to my cut and emboss machine, and I'm gonna cut out a sprig. I'll be right back. Alright, so you can see here, after I cut it out, I'm left with something like that. I guess that's pretty realistic of a real branch, right? And again, you could do any colors. You could not even stamp it and just cut it out with plain. Like this is, I used crumb cake paper with the early espresso ink. All right, I had a backup piece. And then the next part is we're gonna make a frame. Now there is a die set that is called Fabulous Frames or something like that. I don't have it, so I improvised, and I used the rectangle stitch dies, and then I just used two sizes that were one off from each other so that I'll be left with a border. So again, I'm gonna go run this through my cut and emboss machine to create a frame. It looks like a, so that's the outer one. That one is going to be trash. What I'm looking for is this middle layer right here. So we created the frame. I know it's probably hard to see on the top of this, but you can kind of see it looks more like a window. And then you're left also with this great piece that you can use for something else. All right, and then I cut a piece of Designer Series paper. Nope, that's not it. I cut just, again, a piece of basic white that will fit over the back of this. But we're gonna do some stamping first. So I'm gonna kind of put this here as like our guide so we know where we want our ornaments to fall. And I'm going to use real red. And again, we're going to stamp off like we did on the other first project, because I don't want it that red. Let it sit there for a second. So we're going to put our first ornament on or about here. And again, stamp off, and our other ornament is gonna be about here. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. And then I think I'm gonna use the bigger sentiment, because this one I feel like it didn't fill up the space as nicely. And where did I put that? Oh, it's on here. Oh my goodness, guys, I'm losing my mind. I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I lost a stamp already. I just opened this morning. Now, as far as a color, I may bring in some green. I'm gonna go with garden green. And again, I'm gonna go a little bit in because we gotta remember there's like a frame. Okay. Now, the fun part is how I made these ornaments. You guys are not going to believe how it's done. It's actually done using packing tape and a piece of cardstock. And sorry for the annoying noise. So you put a piece of clear packing tape over cardstock. Do it as smooth as you can. Like I got a little wrinkle here, but I'm really not worried about it. And then you just go to your cut and emboss machine and cut out these. And I'm also going to cut out snowflakes. Now again, we know snowflakes aren't really red, but we're going to be creative just to give it kind of like a pop of color. So again, I'm going to take this over to my cut and emboss machine, but I am going to just put temporary tape down just to keep everything in place and make it a little bit easier for me. I hate when the stuff moves. All right, so I'm gonna go cut this out and I will be right back. So you can see they kind of stick to your plate because they're so small, but they have this like shimmer on them from the packing tape and it just makes them look, I don't know how to describe it, and I know they're not going to look right until you try this at home, but they kind of reflect the light a little bit. All right, here's two of my snowflakes. I may have lost one in this. Yep, it didn't pop out. Okay, now you could do like two of the same shape ornament and just run it through again, whatever you want to do. And then I did this already, as I did make some white snowflakes, but I did my bows in white. You could do them in silver, green, gold, whatever. There's a lot you can do. All right, so now we're going to assemble. So I am going to use foam adhesive strips. I really don't know. You can buy this. Stampin' Up sells it as sheets. I had some of this left over, so I'm just trying to use up. I think I got this at Michael's. But it works perfectly, gives it that, you know, a more 3D dimensional look. Just bear with me as I peel off the back. Here we go. It's going to drive me nuts. Sometimes it's hard to separate, but it's definitely going to act up while I'm on trying to shoot a video here. Oh my goodness. On the other card, I had it go completely around on all sides, but then there was like nowhere for me to hold down with my hand, and it just kept sticking to me, so I'm hoping this is a little bit easier. Okay, and then we're going to put it around this as straight as we can. I did pretty good. Okay, now we're going to put in our branch. I'm going to use one adhesive dimensional, small dimensional. Just realized some of this stuff didn't punch out. hard to see on the front side. Okay, I'm gonna put this, and then I am gonna use liquid glue for some of the other, like I know part of this is gonna be on the frame. So again, I'm doing this very, very lightly. But what will happen is the ornaments that we tie on are gonna help hold it. All right. All right, and I am gonna cut this off. And I think I'm gonna let that branch go. All right, so now we wanna put these little guys on. So we're gonna use, again, the small glue dots. You know what also would be cute is to use like that baker's twine that I used. If you didn't want to do the bows. But let's see here. These glue dots are hard to see. All right. And then I think I'm gonna add my little festive pearls. Do I want to use, I think I'm gonna use this. This is actually, I think, Sweet Sorbet, but it goes just as well with Real Red. And then we're gonna try to get our little snowflakes on here. So I'm gonna put one here. I'm just doing tiny, tiny drops of liquid glue. There's a little bit of adhesive on the tip of this from peeling off the foam tape, and that is working to my advantage right now. Okay. And then I have a regular Real Red card base. So this is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And because I don't want to like mess this up, I'm just going to use some liquid glue. Not a lot, just a little. So again, this is kind of, there's a lot you can do with this stamp set and dies. And I wonder if you didn't have a cut and emboss machine, I'm wondering how hard it would be to, yeah, it would be kind of hard to cut out the ornaments. So I really think you would, the good thing about this one though, this set in dies, is I believe this will work with the small cut and emboss machine because nothing is that wide. So if you have any questions or are needing help placing an order, don't hesitate to reach out. My website is here, carriechampagne.stampinup.net, and then my October host code is RXREJCM6. And if you liked this video, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. Feel free to leave a comment, but I'm trying to grow my YouTube subscribers. So I really appreciate it, and thank you again for tuning in. Have a great day.